I'm Nicholeen Peck, and in this video I'm talking about being calm without being a robot or losing your personality. I teach all over the world about self-government. And as I do this self-government teaching to help improve parenting skills, improve communication, bonding, family relationships, I teach skills that have scripts attached to them. Scripts for following instructions. Scripts for how to correct a behavior in a calm and effective manner. But sometimes when people see a script, they feel a little bit oppositional. And I can totally understand that because I am not normally a script person. I am probably the type of person that if somebody says, say this exactly as I say it, that I would say, you can't make me. In my head, I would be like, I'll probably do it every way except for that little tiny bit because I'm slightly strong-willed, okay, maybe a little oppositional, but there is value in developing a script because we already have scripts that we've made inside of our heads. So in this video, I want to talk about the scripts that we have going on, which scripts are going to be helpful to us, and how to use these scripts without turning into a robot or feeling like we've lost our whole personality altogether. So let's talk about those scripts that are already in our head. Do you know that you are already a robot? This was actually a life-changing realization for me. When I was being kind of oppositional about not wanting to say things a certain way, I realized, but what am I going to do instead? Like if you just do a tiny bit of deductive reasoning, what you're going to do instead might involve creativity sometimes, but I want you to know that creative parenting, like if you're getting too creative, it increases a child's anxiety because it decreases predictability. And then the child is on edge more because they feel like you can do a lot more to them and you're going to have more power struggles. Sometimes creativity can work to our benefit, but sometimes it can actually be really hard. And I am a creative person. That's why I've written books and all kinds of things because that's, part of my personality. And I like to be creative in the way that I speak and in the way that I understand other people and in the way that I problem solve. But what I recognized was that even though I do enjoy creativity in the moment, especially in the moment when someone is trying to power struggle with me, I have my same go-tos that I'm going to go to every single time. So my habit thought might be something like, what were you thinking? And I might just say that to them. What are you thinking? You're just trying to be controlling. I might start projecting thinking that I know what somebody else is thinking all the time and just start saying those things. So that might be my go-to, okay? I have a lot of other go-tos. I have go-tos with how I load the dishwasher. I have go-tos with how I, talk to my husband when he comes home from work that I'm like, oh, I got to mix that up a little bit, right? We all develop our own scripts all the time. So when a certain thing happens, there's a certain thought that you have every time. And then there are certain words that you say. Even if you tell yourself, don't say that word, don't say that word. If you do not have another script to replace that script with, you will maintain being a robot with your original script. So the thing I had to embrace was we're all robots. We're all programmed. People will say, oh, I never wanted to do that. My mom said that, and I never wanted to say what she said. And now here I'm doing the same thing my mom did. You know why? Because you're programmed. Every person is programmed. The only way to not be the robot that we don't want to be is to do reprogramming and turn ourselves into, for lack of a better word, the robot we do want to be. And I don't like the word robot because I feel like it makes things so very impersonal. The word assumes that we don't have any thoughts of our own, but we do need to acknowledge that we do program ourselves. And other people also get their hands into our programming too, which is why we can do our very best with our children. And then if we turn them over to the media all the time, all the digital stimulation and everything else, or even just to the school, then our child can suddenly change. and be reprogrammed. And we wonder, how did this happen? And it's because there was enough influence and the person took the programming and decided to plant it inside in a key spot where it was going to come out again later. So let's just not care about the word robot, and let's just try to become the best robot that we can be, okay? But there is a way to hold on to a script and maintain your personality. I had to have that. I feel like every person is individual on purpose. I'm not going to just be sterile as I'm talking to my children. That doesn't help. So let's talk about how to do that. I'm going to be giving you some scripts that you can use to help with your reprogramming, should you choose to take them, and obviously you can modify them any way you want. But before we get to some of those scripts that you might want to adopt in your own programming, click that subscribe button. There are so many great videos on this channel that relate to scripts that you can use, self-government, and solving certain problems, or just understanding people better. You are not going to want to miss the videos that come out every single day on this channel. So click that subscribe button now. I live by scripts so that I can maintain my calmness. Because I am such a fiery, strong-willed type of a person, I really could fly off the handle. I could damage relationships in really bad ways if I did not take the time years ago to rein myself in, decide what it meant to be in control, but to still be me. And that's what I would like to share with you now. So we teach in the Teaching Self-Government Parenting course, we teach 4 basic skills to children. So those 4 basic skills are not just for children. They are for adults too. We need to live by them. I have countless stories of how these 4 basic skills have been key things in helping me maintain my calmness in my life. So those 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. Now, each one of those 4 basic skills has a skill set attached to it. For instance, accepting no answers and criticism has 4 steps. You look at the person or the situation, you keep a calm face, voice, and body, you say okay or you disagree appropriately with the situation, and then you drop the subject. When I miss a flight or someone cuts me off in traffic, guess what? I have to accept a no answer. Getting angry does not help me. And I have to sometimes even consciously tell myself, that was a no answer. Just to remind myself to use the skill that I've been working on with my children for years and years, right? I've got to use it myself. So the children can learn how to accept no answers when things happen that they don't want to have happen, or when someone gives them an actual no, or a piece of criticism that they weren't ready for. They can use those 4 steps. Each one of those 4 basic skills has steps. They all are skill sets. And if a person learns the steps to all of those 4 basic skills, that actually takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. So they become a more self-governing person. They're able to articulate their wants and desires to people better, and they don't have the problems. Now, I know that sounds like almost a magic pill. It's not. There are things that the parent has to do too to help facilitate the learning of those skills. So I teach parents certain teaching styles, which are basically other skill sets that the parents need to correct the problems in calm and predictable ways. And honestly, to make sure a power struggle does not happen with your child, whether it's a stonewall silent power struggle or the really loud, angry, and weepy kind of power struggles, all of those power struggles can actually be avoided if parents have a script prepared ahead of time that will make it so that they do not engage in the power struggle, but they calmly and lovingly guide the child at the same time toward the behavior or the problem-solving technique that's going to benefit them the very best. Those are the kinds of things that I teach, and they truly are life-changing for so many people as they learn to throw out that old script which isn't working and replace it with a new script. So you know that definition of insanity that everybody talks about is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. Well, if you don't like your results and you keep trying the same scripts, then it might be time to get a new script and to just embrace that. But how do we use these scripts and still maintain our personalities? Let's talk about that. So I'm a really fun, spontaneous kind of a person. I like to look at people, engage. I like to understand where they're coming from, but I'm also very driven. I like to accomplish a lot of things. That's my personality. And I could go into greater details about my flaws of my personality as well as some of the strengths that I just shared. We all have parts and pieces of who we are. It's so powerful to understand some of the characteristics of your personality. And I think that's why there's so many different personality tests out there and strength tests and all these kinds of things. And I'm fascinated by those. I don't think they always nail it completely. And I don't think that we should always put everybody into a box either. I feel like that's not very healthy. I do think it is helpful to say, I have a tendency to think this way, or I have a tendency to do this in this type of a circumstance, because that's good, healthy analysis. And so we want to have that good, healthy analysis so that we can better chart a course for us for success. Now, the powerful thing is, if we can identify some of the bad things, we can also decide, I don't want to have those anymore. I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to replace those bad personality traits with some good personality traits, and maybe with some skills that I need when I don't usually have them, so I've been making excuses for a lot of years. So knowing what our personality is power, because it helps us know what we have to work with as we're trying to govern ourselves along our journey. And this is going to be the same thing for your children. So I do think taking strength finder tests and color code tests and love language tests and all those kinds of things where we understand a little bit more about how we work and how we think are good, but then also say, do you like that part? Or do you think we maybe could replace that with something else? Let's try to not put a lot of focus on that part, right? As you are parenting your children and you're correcting problems and stuff, and you're using a script, how do I maintain my spontaneity? How do I maintain my connection, my fun spirit? Well, there's multiple different things that I do, but probably the key, like number one most important thing, is I'm a connector, right? And I think most people in their personalities really do want to connect to other people. And so one thing that I do as a connector is I look in people's eyes the whole time. I look in their eyes and I think, it's okay. It's okay. I understand. I want to understand. I love you. I care about you. I'm thinking all of that in my mind with my eyes as I'm correcting them for some problem that they might be having right then in the minute. So looking a person in the eyes helps maintain some of your authenticity as you are trying to help them through a problem. It shows them you care, and it shows them you are not detaching and just thinking about your words. Another thing that I have done over the years is I have created cue cards for myself so that I can stay the course. So when I was doing treatment foster care, I took recipe cards and I wrote down all the words that I wanted to use in the skills that I was going to be very predictable with for them, because they needed predictability to decrease their anxiety. I would actually keep these cards with me. I would pull them out of my pocket and I would start looking at them. And then I would look at the child and I would look at the card and I would say, oh, just a minute, let me read my cue on my card. I would stay real. I was a real person. And so what I would do is I would make it like, this little thing that I'm correcting right here is not the most important thing to me. In fact, I'm not emotionally investing in it. What I'm doing is I'm going to go through a procedure with you, and I'm still going to just be here as a person with you. These are just words. It's just a procedure to help you so that you can disengage the emotional and engage the logical. This was huge. Now, I thought that my foster children would think I was kooky, that I had to read stuff off of a card, but I'll tell you what, that self-government step actually proved my authenticity. It proved that I really did care about them, and that was part of my personality that I wanted to share. I didn't want to be just a disciplinarian. I wanted to be somebody who was helping them chart their course and was really invested in what they were doing, enough that I would control the words that I even said. Another key thing that I did, and this one's probably one of the biggest things, is I always have taken time with my children and anyone actually that I have a relationship with and have regular talks with those people. So we had scheduled meetings so that I wouldn't forget talk times, but also my personality is, hey, I want to understand, I want to know, right? So I'm going to tell them the why of things. So when I say, no, this is a no answer, you're going to need to accept a no answer, I don't just stop there. I say, the reason why this needs to be a no answer is because. And I'm going to explain. So I've given myself rationale steps that are included in all of the correcting and teaching skills that I work on with my children. These rationale steps help me so that I can make sure that I have heart-to-heart connection with them. I give them some of the whys, and I don't stay removed during our interactions. I want them to feel my genuine care and concern for them. I want them to know that there is love behind that person that tells them that they chose to earn an extra chore. That I don't take the chore personally. I don't even take the moment personally. But them, I care about enough that they are very personal to me. It's different, right? So your tone, I'm talking all about tone, and I want to give you something that is going to help you have a better tone as you are implementing all of the self-government skills that you are using for your family. To improve your tone, I have a free gift for you. In the description below this video, there is a link to my Calm Parenting Toolkit. The link says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. Click on that link and you will get my 10-lesson Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. This is the perfect starter course at improving your tone so that as you're being consistent in your language, using a script in order to decrease anxiety in your children and increase their confidence and capability to follow through, that you also are able to maintain a connection and a feeling of authenticity that will preserve who you really are and your personality. Click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.